So welcome, my name is Nick Martinez. Super excited to be here with you tonight. I live out in Minnesota. I've been drinking ketones now and sharing them for 5 years. Prior to this product, prior to this business, I was a full-time airline pilot with Delta Connection. I'd done that for a number of years prior until I got a phone call from a friend one day just saying, hey, what do you know about ketones and ketosis? And at the time, I was not doing the ketogenic diet. I did not know what ketosis was. I was eating low fat and high carbs, and I was not just familiar with it. So when I learned that you could drink ketones that would put your body in a state of ketosis, I was intrigued, but it wasn't until I started watching videos, it wasn't until I started hearing people's stories that I realized the true power of putting your body in ketosis on a daily basis. So when I started drinking this, I went from being tired all the time, not having a ton of energy because I was working the backside of the clock for the airlines. I'd come home during the day and rest, i.e. my rest was watching my 2-year-old. And then I'd go and do it again that night. So I was just tired. I'd come home from work and my napping position would be where I watched my 2-year-old from. So I started to utilize ketones. I started to drink ketones on a daily basis. And next thing I knew, instead of coming home from trips, trying to lay on the floor and catch a nap while watching my 2-year-old, I was chasing her around the house. And I had a big smile on my face and I was just happier. I had more energy and I was just feeling great. And my wife, I remember asking me like, what's going on? Like, what are you doing? I'm like, well, it's just these ketones that I'm drinking. That's the only thing that's really changed. So our goal tonight is hopefully to help you understand what Keto NAT is, how it works, specifically why this does give the results that you're hearing about. And also to talk a little bit more about our programs that you can participate in. One, which is our Drink Ketones Challenge, which is a great way to get started. And the other is our Keto Reboot, which is a 60-hour program that mimics fasting. And you're going to hear some stories tonight about different people who have been having great success just implementing this as a technology into their life, as a supplement into their life, and truly being able to step into the best versions of them. So just to kind of give you the basics, this is the product. It's called Keto NAT, stands for naturally fermented. It's a powder. This one happens to taste like raspberry lemonade. It's delicious. We have lots of different flavors. You're going to rip open the packet. You're going to put it in ice and water. You're going to shake it up, drink it over the course of 30 minutes or so. And after that time, in about 30 minutes, you can tell that you're in a state of ketosis, meaning you can test your blood, you can test your urine, and you'll show that you have ketones present for fuel. So essentially what this is a fuel source for the brain, a fuel source for your muscles, for your body. Your body loves burning ketones and it prefers it. Actually, it gives it way more energy and just helps many things just function at a high level in your body. So we're going to go into some more detail. And if you have questions, feel free to type them in the chat. But before we go any further, I want to hear from a couple of people just about kind of what this product has done for them. So the first one is Sarah Green. And Sarah has had just an amazing experience and transformation, not only drinking ketones, but also rebooting with us over the last year or more. Sarah, where are you at? What's happening? How's it going?
Hey, Nick, can you hear me?
I can.
Awesome. Hi, I'm Sarah. I'm from Hudson, Michigan, and I've been drinking ketones for almost 3 years now, which is crazy to think about. But before ketones, I, was tired all the time. I would come home from work, usually grab fast food on the way home, and park myself on my couch and stay there the rest of the night. My feet always hurt, my back always hurt, my legs were always swollen. I was just miserable. And I didn't want to do anything when I got home. I was completely, content with just not functioning. I did my 8 hours at work and that's all I had to do. And then ketones came into my life. I jumped all in with the reboot. That's how I got my introduction to the world of ketones. And it's been a complete game changer for me. I think I'm up to, 30-ish reboots. It's basically my just monthly reset every month. And especially this year, I've needed that every single month because this 2020 brought us a whole bunch of stuff. And every month I knew that I could wipe the slate clean and start anew with that reboot. And it was a driving force for the whole year. So now after, doing a whole bunch of reboots, I've managed to lose over 100 pounds. I feel fantastic. We had snow and I went out and shoveled my sidewalks before my 24-hour period, where that's what we have in my city, that they have to be cleaned in 24 hours. I had it done basically as soon as the snow stopped. And that was unheard of before. I have so much more desire to do stuff. I sleep so much better. I wake up and I'm ready to go. Like, I feel rested and just rejuvenated to start the day. So it's been a huge impact every single day for me. And I'm just completely thankful for this whole process. And I'm excited. Like, it's weird coming out of 2020 and being so kind of down, but I'm excited for what 2021 brings, because I know that I'm on a path to better, and it's just going to keep getting better. Like, I'll look back at 2020 and be like, hey, that was okay. Like, it was a bump in the road. It went, like this, but it was just another stepping stone. So I'm thoroughly excited for everything that's coming up, and, super excited for this community too, because along with everything with 2020, this community has been such an amazing support system through this whole pandemic that I couldn't be any more thankful.
I love it. That's awesome. Well, Sarah, I couldn't believe it's been 3 years. That's awesome. And to start a journey 3 years ago and still be on it and be successful with it and have maintained that kind of fat loss is just super incredible. So one of the questions I get a lot about ketones is exactly like what's happening when you drink this. So I want you to think of ketones as an energy molecule, kind of like your car, like a hybrid car. Your body uses two different fuel sources. So if you think of a hybrid car, you use gas or electric. Your body's kind of the same thing. It will use glucose, which comes from carbs or sugar, or ketones, which comes when you metabolize fat, or comes when your body breaks down fat and then it breaks it into smaller molecules. And one of those molecules that we use for fuel is our ketones, beta hydroxybutyrate to be exact. So the neat thing with our ketones is when you drink them, you're actually drinking pure ketones. Your body will absorb them and then use them for energy. Prior to Keto NAT, in order to get into ketosis, you either had to be 100% perfect on the keto diet, or you had to do an extended fast, meaning you had to do more than the intermittent fasting that everybody does now, which is like 18 hours. You had to go 36, 60, 72, somewhere between probably 3 and 6 days to get your body into that state. Now, because you can drink the fuel, the work has already been done for you. You can actually just put this in your body. So what's neat about that is most of the benefits that you get from being in ketosis actually come from it as a fuel source. Your brain loves ketones. Your brain actually lights up when ketones are present. It energizes it. And usually we struggle from a lack of energy to the brain. So you're less hungry. You have fewer cravings. Your mood is better when your brain is fueled. And you also, because of that less hunger, you have more energy. You're moving your body more. And fat loss becomes a real thing. So some of the stories you're going to hear from tonight are just like, you'll hear a lot of the scale. We don't necessarily focus so much on the number, but what we focus on is how you feel and how you show up on a daily basis. And what's amazing is as you focus on those things, guess what? The scale starts to move. So the next person that we're going to hear from is Jessica Melk. And Jessica, super excited for you to share a little bit about how ketones have impacted you.
Awesome, Nick. Thanks for having me.
Hey.
My name is Jessica. I'm in New Mexico, and I'm a mom of 4, and I'm a home healthcare worker. And really, I started this because I had no energy after work and was cranky all the time from being in menopause after having cervical cancer. So I was tired. I wasn't sleeping good. I had gained a ton of weight in my midsection. I was just a miserable mom trying to get through every single day the best I could, and I was failing big time. So I was looking just to feel better. I just wanted better. I wanted better sleep, and I wanted to be able to be a better mom. And so I started this journey a year ago on January 16th, and my whole life has completely changed. I have energy for days. I can go to work, come home, take care of my farm, my kids, my life. And I'm constantly looking for something new to do. I have adventure in my soul that I never had before. I have a good night of sleep every single night, like 7, 8+ hours of sleep every night. And I've gone from a size 12 to a size 0. So I'm at like 69.5 pounds down. I feel fantastic. I see life in a whole new light. And I plan on continuing this journey because who doesn't want to feel this good every single day? So I am super excited for 2021. I have been able to maintain my weight for the last like 3.5 months. And I have just continued to feel amazing. And I am super pumped for what's to come.
Wow, that's awesome. So if you don't mind me asking, I know a lot of people watching who are new to this conversation are probably wondering like, all right, what did she actually do? How did this work? How did she lose 69 pounds during this year of all of the craziness and then maintain it? So like tell me what your day looks like, how you've utilized ketones, how you ate.
Absolutely. So I start every single morning with coffee and keto cream. I don't eat breakfast, and I fast from my coffee in the morning until my afternoon snack between 2 and 3 in the afternoon. I eat very low carb. I'm not keto, I'm just low carb. So I pretty much cut out breads, pastas, and potatoes, and I eat a lot of vegetables. I eat a lot of cream cheese, and I eat a lot of meat and veggies. And I eat a very low carb dinner every single night. I drink my ketones in the afternoon. I drink lots of water, and that's it. I get up and I move, which I never was doing before. I go for walks. I exercise, never exercised in my life. But I'm doing that now because I feel good when I do.
I love it. I love it. Well, thank you so much for sharing. And the neat thing with this, I get the question a lot, hey, do I have to do the diet? Hey, I've heard of keto, but I don't want to do that. And the reality is this is a product that is diet independent. Everybody can drink it regardless of what your plan is. When you do have this, because you crave less sugar, you crave less junk, your brain is fed, you're going to naturally start to make better food choices. So I say there's people who are full strict keto over here, and I'm sometimes there. And then there's standard American diet, which is like pizza and bonbons and whatever the heck over here. This allows you to come this direction and without even having to have much effort with it. And if you're crushing keto, that's awesome. Guess what? This will elevate the level of ketones that you have present, which will amplify the results that you're getting from keto. So the next person that we're going to hear from is Mr. Terry Bolte. And Terry would love to hear just a little bit about how ketones have affected you. Oh, you got to unmute.
I'm here.
Hey, there we go. Gotcha.
You mentioned pizza and bonbons. I'm like, wow, that's like the old me big time. So I'm Terry Bolte. I live in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. I'm a truck driver. I work for an ice company. I do route sales. So drive around to convenience stores. I'm around junk food all the time. And before drinking ketones, you could say I ate like a hobbit. If you're familiar with Lord of the Rings, breakfast, second breakfast, 11sies, lunch, second lunch, on and on and on. That was me. So normally I'd wake up extremely tired, needed something to get going. So I'd be driving to work and I'd stop at Scooters, this coffee shop near my house. And I'd get like a large blender iced coffee. And those are, $5-6 every day. And I might stop at Burger King too on the way to work and get food. So after that, I'd, head to the gas station, fuel up my truck, and I get a snack there. Hit the road, probably sip Gatorade all day. At lunches, Casey's Pizza at one of the convenience stores. It just went on and on like that throughout the day. I had like zero willpower with food. It was really bad. I knew I was headed for trouble. I've got some issues in my family that I knew, I was following right in their footsteps. So I had to do something. And luckily, ketones came into my life. And I just kind of stepped into them on faith, being like, we'll see what happens. I want to lose some body fat. So I did that, lost the body fat. That was really cool. But what I didn't see coming was how good it was going to be from a mood. I mean, before ketones, I was a pretty angry guy. My co-workers, I wasn't well liked at work. I'll just say that. And in the morning, the energy, I'll hit the ketones and I feel really good, like for the rest of the day. My relationships now, prior to ketones, my wife says she used to be walking on eggshells with me all the time, and really struggled with my mood during winter time in South Dakota. And I'm so much better off now. My coworkers like me. My boss actually said, after about a year and a half of this, he's just like, okay, your attitude has improved so much. Whatever you're drinking, I need to drink that. And he became a customer. So that was pretty crazy. What I'm looking forward to most is just helping people. I'm a guy with a big heart. I love helping people, love impacting lives. It's been something fun to do. And, previously I was just like, you hit 65 and, life just kind of goes downhill, and maybe 10 years of that and I'm good. And I'm just kind of like, life is good. Every day is a gift. I just got to make the best of each day, and I'll do that as long as I can. So life is radically different for sure.
I love it. I love it. It's powerful to watch, especially as you have just change that happens and your family is the first to notice. So thanks so much for sharing, Terry. We call ketones at our house, we call it happy mommy juice, because at 3 o'clock, my wife is like just ready to pull her hair out because of our 4-year-old and 7-year-old. They can be a little challenging because they're around so much now. But she like literally will drink this at 2 o'clock, and like clockwork, she'll go from being frustrated to having a smile on her face to being like super mom. So it's amazing just the variety of things that you'll find. Everybody, when they start to drink this, it's going to be a little bit different, right? Ketones will meet you where you're at. Every body is different, so they're going to impact your brain differently. They might impact your muscles, they might impact your mood, they might impact your sleep, which is really, really fun. So let's hear one more, and then I'll try to answer any questions that are out there. If you do have questions, feel free to type them in the chat. But I'd love to hear from Amber Horn just about your keto journey and how this has impacted you. What's up, Amber?
Hey, Nick. My name's Amber Horn, like Nick said. I'm out in the Pacific Northwest. I'm in Oregon, Yamhill County, Oregon. And I'm a mom of 6 kids. I've got 4 that are college age, and I've got 2 at home still. 16-year-old boys. They're identical twins, and they keep me super busy. So yeah, I'm a busy mama. But before ketones, I spent a lot of time in my bed with no energy and pretty miserable, uncomfortable, extremely overweight, and not wanting to leave the house, not wanting to talk to anybody, not wanting to see anybody. I reluctantly went to my kids' activities and tried to not go to as many as possible, but I'd feel guilty. And when I would go to them, I'd always sneak in the back door late and sneak out early because I was embarrassed by the way I looked. I was embarrassed by my appearance, and I was embarrassed for my kids to have to claim me as their mom. And I always remember looking at all those cute, active, fit moms who were like leading the PTA and leading all the fundraisers. And that's the mom that I wanted to be for my kids. And I tried everything because that's what I wanted. I tried every diet, every gimmick, every pill, everything. And I would lose weight and be successful for some of them, but I always ended up gaining the weight back plus some. And I did this for years and years and years. And nothing seemed to work. And fast forward to February of this year, I had weight loss surgery. I went to Tijuana. I was so desperate. I had weight loss surgery. I lost 20 pounds prior to weight loss surgery. Then I lost 30 pounds right after weight loss surgery. All of that was on a liquid diet. But as soon as I introduced food back into my body, the scale stopped moving. So again, I went weeks and weeks and weeks at failing at something. And who fails at weight loss surgery? I did. I failed at weight loss surgery. One more thing that wasn't working for me. And it was pretty discouraging. This went on for months. Okay. And you can imagine how I must have felt. So I see these ketone things on TikTok, and it was something new. Hadn't heard of them. So I thought I'd give them a try. I was ready to crawl back in the bed and never be seen again. So I was just scrolling in my bed through TikTok and I see them, and I order like this sample pack and they come in the mail. And day 1 of drinking ketones, I lose 2 pounds, and day 2, I lose another 2 pounds. And in 10 days, I'm down 10 pounds. And this is really exciting to me. I feel like it fixed something that wasn't working inside my body, because I felt like I was doing everything right, but my body wasn't cooperating. And this was in late September. And since that date, my world has totally changed. The scale has been moving ever since then. I'm super happy. I have energy. I'm involved with my kids. I don't lay in my bed anymore unless I'm sleeping, which is really good. Everyone loves that around here. Mom's out of bed and mom's busy and mom's active and she's going to all the kids' activities. So that's good. I'm down 90 pounds since the beginning of the year. So I lost 90 pounds in 2020. I have 40 more pounds to go to get to my goal weight. And so I'm gearing up to lose that last 40. But what's super exciting for me is I always imagined and was discouraged because I always saw like the grandma that my mom was to my kids, and she's an amazing grandma. And I didn't know how I was going to be that grandma because I was in bed for all these years and I missed out on a lot. And I've got 4 college-age kids, and I would imagine that grandkids are coming in 5-10 years. And I am so excited because now I have the tool that I need to have that energy and that drive and be active and like go camping and hiking and do all those things that grandmas get to do. They get to spoil their grandkids, and that's going to totally be me in a few years. And I'm looking forward to that.
I love it. I love it. Well, that's super powerful. I mean, everybody starts in someplace different, right? So if you're watching this and you're thinking, man, I'd love to have one of those journeys. Awesome. If you're watching this and you're thinking, hey, I don't really have any weight to lose, or I don't need to lose weight. Guess what? It's actually a muscle retention and a fat loss program, right? Our whole thing is really about how do we help you become the healthier version of you. And while this is an amazing transformation process, guess what? You can start this journey and transform by fueling your brain, fueling your muscles, and truly becoming a lean and happy version of you, not just a lean and mean version of you. I did see a question, is there a lot of science around this, or is it all psychological? Actually, it's all science. It's very little placebo. It's all data and science. So if you want to just take a look at some of the research, it's super fascinating. Our product was actually developed initially, like the original patents that we used came out of the University of South Florida in conjunction with Department of Defense research around Navy SEAL divers needing something to give their brain ketones so it would protect them while doing Black Ops missions. These Navy SEAL divers were doing Black Ops missions. They're using rebreathers. They're under high concentrations of water, or high pressures of water, high concentrations of oxygen. It was causing them to have seizures while doing this, and it was a dangerous space, obviously. And the Department of Defense knew that the ketogenic diet was used for children with epilepsy back in the 1920s, and ketosis was helping their brains in the 1920s with these children. And also knew that the University of South Florida was doing a lot of research around ketosis, the ketogenic diet, high pressures of like hyperbaric chambers. So they actually commissioned them to do a study to create a supplement that Navy SEAL divers could take to put their brains in ketosis. That's just to give you like a little high level history of what this is. So that original patent that they created is one of the patents that Prove It utilizes in their products. And it was back when they created it, it wasn't a saleable product. It was the combination of ketones basically and MCT. So it was oil and salts essentially, and it tasted awful. But it worked. It protected these divers' brains. So if you Google Dr. Dom TED Talk, Dr. DOM TED Talk, you can see that a TED Talk where he actually talks about it. Super fascinating.
It's Dom DSD, Dom.
That is right. There we go. So incredible science. There's also a book, if you're looking for more just data and information, check out the Ketogenic Bible by Dr. Ryan Lowry and Dr. Jacob Wilson. And if you want like the authority, the like information on ketosis, on keto, as well as ketone supplementation, that's the book. it has documented pages, 4 or 5 pages of just citations from peer-reviewed research after every chapter. And they really talk about the application of this and how it works. And those are actually the guys that have helped formulate Prove It's Ketones over the years. So the next step is really, you've heard enough stories. The question is, how will it work for you and what's your journey going to be, right? You get to determine where you're going in 2021. Nobody else. You get to determine what your health is going to look like, what changes are going to be made, how you're going to show up this next year, and allow this to be a tool in your tool belt to create the best version of you. Allow this to give you that willpower. Allow this to give you that brain fuel. You think about it, you're putting food, you're putting things into your body on a daily basis. They're either detracting from your health or they're improving it, right? We have to eat, we have to drink. The question is, what are you putting in? And this is something where you can put in with confidence and know that it's going to fuel your body at the highest level. It's like putting the highest quality gasoline in your car. Why not do the same thing for your body? So the next step is really just pick how you get started. I'll show you a couple of the different options that we have. You heard me in the beginning mention the Drink Ketones challenge. So get back to whoever invited you here and just say, hey, I want information on that challenge, or hey, I want to start with a box of ketones, or maybe you want to grab the reboot. But this is the challenge I mentioned. It starts at $99. You get 20 packets of ketones with it. And you actually, you can follow the program that we have laid out here, or you can just drink it once a day. But here's kind of the path. It's drink ketones when you awake. Then aim for a low carb lunch, drink a low caffeine-free Keto NAT in the afternoon, then a low carb dinner, and then repeat 10 days in a row. And just watch as things start to unfold. Really, really powerful. You also heard me mention the Reboot a little bit earlier, and the Reboot is a program that mimics fasting. It gives you everything that you need for 60 hours. It allows you to go without food during that time, except not without energy. You're fueling with ketones, you're fueling with bone broth, you're balancing your electrolytes with our Mitoplex, which is a electrolyte product, as well as having a DNA repair element to it. And this program will really help you to hit reset. It will really help you to take a lifestyle to the next level, or just kick it off and get started. So ask any questions that you have of whoever invited you here, get those questions answered, and grab one of those for sure. Or better yet, just grab them both as you check out, because you can buy the Reboot alongside the Drink Ketones challenge. And the other option is for you to join our community as a promoter. We as a community have been around now for over 5 years, almost 6 years. And Prove It's mission and vision is really to help people become the best versions of themselves. We do that with amazing technology, amazing conversations, as well as with a community of people like you just heard from, who've been achieving their better, whether it's been the last year like Jessica, or the last 3 years like Sarah, and just at the same time inspiring those around them. So if you've been thinking about people saying, oh, I think this person would love this product, or my friend should do this with me, consider being a promoter. One of the things that we do is really help people just become better at whatever it is that they want out of life. So I want to hear just one story tonight from somebody who's approached this from a business standpoint, and it's really impacted her. And because she chose to become a promoter with us, now we have what's called brand builder packs, which allows you to just help build the brand of Prove It, help build this brand of better out into the marketplace. But Melissa, would love to hear just a little of your story and how this community and how this business has impacted you.
Hey, Nick. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
So my name's Melissa. I am from North Texas. I live just north of Fort Worth. I am a stay-at-home mom. I have 3 beautiful little girls. I have a 6-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a 1-year-old. And I have been drinking ketones it'll be 3 years this month. So I can't believe it's been that long. It's flown by. But it's been amazing. My story with the product is very similar to some of the stories you've heard tonight with energy, fat loss. It helped me take off the baby weight after my babies. It's just been amazing. But the biggest thing for me that has been life-changing has been the opportunity with learning how to share it with people and how to help them live better lives through doing that. And so when I first got started, before I joined the business side of Prove It, I was an elementary school counselor. I worked full-time as a counselor, And I loved it. I loved my passion for my work and the kids. But what I didn't love was my 2 children at the time were in full-time daycare, and I picked them up at 6 p.m. at night and got very little time with them before they went to bed. And so even though I'd worked really hard to get my master's and get my job, and I loved my job, my heart was like aching to be home with my kids. But I had no idea how I was going to do that. My husband and I had maybe $100, $200 of discretionary income every month left over for maybe going on a date or doing something fun with our kids. But I didn't have the ability to not work, and it wasn't really even like a light at the end of the tunnel. This was just how it was going to be. So, so when the opportunity to share the product came up, I was super skeptical at first because I told myself, I've never done sales. I can't do that. I don't know how to do that. But I realized very quickly that it wasn't about selling a product. It was about loving the product and just sharing it with people I cared about. So that's what I started to do. I was drinking it at work and people noticed a difference in me and they started asking about it. So I simply told them my story and connected them with some great resources that we had, got them drinking the product. And over time, it started to build and I started to realize, wow, I can really do something different for my family with this. And so after a couple months, it turned into a few $100s a month. And that was super exciting because we didn't have to be so careful with our grocery budget and we could spend a little bit more freely. And that was great. About 18 months in, I was pregnant with baby number 3. And I actually was able to make the decision to leave my job as a counselor and stay home. And that to me was everything because it allowed me to not have to have my kids in childcare anymore. I could be home with them and be present. And that was because the business at that point had replaced my income as a counselor. And that was just so exciting. So fast forward another 18 months, puts me to today. And I've continued. The coolest part about this community that I've learned is that it's not just about the product, but it's about growing yourself and growing as a person. And I've been working on myself and getting outside my comfort zone and just trying new things. And the Tuesday before Christmas was my husband's last day at his job, and he stepped away and is now working the business with me full time, which is incredibly exciting. We're so pumped to head into 2021 and work together and change lives together. And we have big dreams of traveling and we homeschool our kids now. And so getting to educate our kids in the way that we want to, it's super exciting. And so I'm pumped. I can't wait to continue to share ketones. I can't wait to help people on my team grow. And so I just want to encourage anyone out there that if you're thinking, man, I would love to be able to do that, but I don't know how to sell something, you don't have to. You just have to believe in the product and you have to be excited and just share your story. That's what it's all about. You just rinse and repeat that and work on yourself and it can turn into something just amazing.
So powerful. I mean, it really isn't. It's a neat time that we're in right now because whether you're here saying, hey, I'm ready for energy, I'm ready for focus, I'm ready for fat loss, or you just heard some of these stories and you heard Melissa talk and you're like, hey, I wonder if that would work for me. I wonder if this could be something where I could create a little extra income. Right now we're in a place where people are looking for what we have. Like they're knocking at the door saying, hey, I need energy. Hey, I feel awful. Hey, I don't know what I'm going to do in 2021 to get back to normal. And we have that. So allow that to be like just an opportunity for you. Whoever invited you here, just say, hey, tell me more about this brand builder thing. Tell me more about what it means to be a promoter. Ask some questions and see if that's the right fit for you and join us, join our community and have some fun. So as we were talking, I was just noticing there were some questions that we didn't get to. So I'd love to make sure we have all of these answered for you. The difference between Prove It's BHB and others on the market is ours is bioidentical. When you drink this, it's 100% absorbable. Everything else out there, we have patents on basically bioidentical ketones. Everything else out there, you might absorb 30, 40, 50% if you're really lucky. So that's the best part about Prove It's product, or one of the best parts. As far as Reboot and Challenge, there's tons of guidance. We actually have a Facebook group called Drink Ketones Daily that as a customer you get to participate in. And we have Reboot coaches in there who really walk you through the Reboot and how to utilize it. People juice, let's see. The neat thing with this is drinking ketones helps to stabilize your blood sugar. A lot of the highs and lows that people are used to controlling with sugar, you actually don't necessarily need to do that. Work with a doctor. I'm not a doctor, but drinking ketones will help you long term. We have caffeine and caffeine free And as far as when to take it, first thing in the day is awesome, and then the afternoon is awesome, but there's no right or wrong. It's just drink them. Some people drink them at 6 o'clock at night. I generally, if I'm going to drink it past 3 or 4 p.m., I won't have a charged one. I won't have a caffeine one. But before that, what happens when you stop drinking ketones? Does your body confused? Absolutely not. When you stop drinking ketones, you're in a better place than when you started. I think one of the things I'm most proud of is we don't create yo-yo dieters. We create people that just step into the best version of them, and they create a strong lifestyle. So because this isn't a diet, so to speak, it's just fuel. You're actually fueling muscle, you're fueling brain, you're starving fat. And through that, you are left in a better spot than when you stopped or when you started. So generally speaking, it's not something that will cause any ill things. So yes, there's no age limit either. We have people of all ages drinking ketones. So we could go on all night and hear stories from everybody on here that's been drinking ketones, but I will let you guys go. Thank you so much for being here with us. I appreciate all of you. Thank you so much for those who shared and just shared a little bit of your heart. Hopefully, if you're new to this conversation, you heard something tonight that may have inspired you a little bit just to move, just to do something. Because if you do nothing, if you make no change today, no change tomorrow, guess what? We're going to repeat the past. We're going to repeat 2020. Our goal for you is to make some sort of shift so that the future is different, so that you get to start creating it. And I'm telling you, if you combine the conversation of drinking ketones, the conversation of rebooting, and you start to tell other people about it, because guess what? The best form of accountability is letting others know that you're doing it. Because subconsciously you're going to say, hey, I'm going to stick to this. I'm going to make sure it works because I told other people about it. So thank you so much for being here. Get back with whoever invited you here. Tell them, I want to do the challenge, or tell them, tell me more about this promoter thing, or tell them, hey, I want to do that reboot. Like I want to do that reset with them. Let them know how you want to get started. They're going to walk you through it, and they're going to be there to support you along the way. So we'll talk to y'all later. Have a great night, and we'll talk to you soon. Happy New Year.